Hello and welcome back to the 9 o'clock hour of Rapid Dawn right here on Rapid TV. And of course, on Wednesdays is pretty different because we get to do a whole lot of different stuff. Now, this time we're talking about people, their relationships, their decisions. We judge if we need to judge. You see, here we don't say, oh, no judgment. There's judgment on this table. This is this judgment table, y'all. But yes, welcome to the 9 o'clock hour. My name is Martha Alu, and never alone, of course.
All right, my name is Victor. Okay. And we have the beautiful.
All right, my name is Nen.
My name is Nen.
My name is Nen Miranda, like we're supposed to know. That's so proud.
Like, my name is Nen Warren on Sunday.
Sunday.
Why do you change it to
what
happened to you, Mazaka?
Just new day, new me.
Oh,
Let's
interesting.
stay with you, Mazaka.
All right, so glad to be back here on TV. In fact, last week Wednesday we had a swell time having several conversations. In fact, that conversation last week almost didn't end because we dragged it and dragged it even after we got off air. But today's conversation, I feel like everyone knows what to do except the person who is in that situation. And I'm saying to myself, is it that sometimes we just like to be delusional about certain things? But before we even get into the video of today, let's ask a very simple question. Do you think that when people are in love, do you think that they know what they're doing? It's just a very honest question I'm asking. Do you honestly think that when people say that they're in love, do you think that they know what they're doing?
Yes, I do. They actually know what they are doing. They know what they do. But a lot of times, they either ignore or decide to do it based on the fact that they're trying to make a compromise for this particular individual, but they know exactly what they are doing. You know, and people most times drop their values to be able to please their partner, right? So again, just to answer your question, yes, people know what they know what they are doing, you know, but sometimes they just ignore the either the challenges that comes, not challenges, not repercussions that comes with their actions because they're trying to, you know.
Do you think that comes from premature intimacy between both parties? Because I know for a fact that when you're intimate with someone, there is some level of bias you have towards that person, because you guys have now spent time together, you know, such a time together, right? So do you think that also stems from that contributes to your inability to actually probe the thoughts of that person? Remember, we had a conversation today about the woman who was scammed of about $2.5 million, and does that? I mean, that she hadn't even met that person, you know, yet she was able to send all those amount of money to that person. In fact, last week also we were supposed to have a conversation about a lady who ended up giving a guy about 50 million naira. This one is not even scam here in Nigeria, you know.
It's still called a scam.
So do you think, it's a scam, but do you think that this stems up from that?
Yeah, that's one, you know, that's one amongst many other things, right? There is that place for, I want to make a sacrifice for this person I'm with, you know. Again, just like I said, it's personal decision. People actually know that this is what they're getting themselves into, you know. But yeah, that premature intimacy is there, but there are factors now that lead people towards wanting to take those decisions as it is, and that is one of it. There are many other factors, you know, they are coming descriptive, but you know, they're not coming like itemized as it is basically. But let's have
I'm tempted to ask Victor. So you want to tell me, amongst all the relationships you've had in the past, you've never had any that you sat and you're like, what was I thinking
When I got
like
into that?
why did I do what I did?
But I knew what I was doing.
Why was I even doing it?
That's the thing. The thing is, I knew what I was doing, you know. Now you might want to question the reason behind it, right? You might want to question, why did I have to make those compromises to do this particular thing? It is because at that point you felt like you were in love with this particular person, and you were willing to do anything humanly possible, rather, to either make the person comfortable, happy, you know. So again, you knew what you were doing, but you just said, damn the consequences.
Well, for me, I think I disagree.
Okay.
I feel like love just has a way of
Collecting your sense.
Right? Exactly. Well, it's almost like a transaction. Okay, give me love, I give you my sense.
You know.
But I want to say it has its good side and it has its bad side. I just know that most of the times you see people in love, you find them sometimes doing things they said they would never do. I know you would say, okay, that's a part of compromise and all, but I can assure you that this love thing, this feeling you get when you know that, oh, you have someone that is so much in love with you, and you also, and then the butterflies in your tummy and all, it just has a way of shifting your mind from thinking, all of a sudden you're saying, for example, now when you have some red flags, you tell yourself, if the guy has this, if he does this, if he does that, and you now find yourself in a relationship and the person is doing it, and then you're now feeling that maybe you're not making excuses for the person. I don't know. I know you might still want to say, oh yes, the person knows what she or he is doing,
Right.
but I still stand on the ground that, I mean, we know how this thing is.
There's
You
a
know
thing
what it
called
feels
logic,
like when
you know.
you are in a relationship, or when
Yeah.
you're in love and when you're not. There's just this sweetening in your body that now somehow now makes you make some choices and decisions that later on you'll be like, why did I? But again, later you'll be like, oh, okay.
You know that
this person.
popular saying that people always say, don't advise somebody that is in love.
Exactly.
This is where it came from, because
it's the truth.
I've come to find out that
Omo,
when people are in relationships like this, you know, it becomes super hard. It is already hard. And let me also put it out there that it's not supposed to be a bad thing if you are with someone who doesn't take that for granted.
Yeah.
You know, it's not supposed to be a bad thing, guy or girl.
Yeah.
But we're in a society where if you see a guy who is interested in doing house chores, someone will come online and say, if you're doing house chores, you're a silly man, you don't know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. And as a woman, if you support your husband financially, you're crazy. You don't.
submissive.
It's not supposed to be a bad thing.
Not at all.
It's just that you did it for the wrong person. But
Yeah.
I honestly think that people are most likely never in their senses when they are in relationships. Now, in relationships that is actively intimate, it's an entirely different ball game.
Yes.
Because it's just like, I don't know how to, I might not know how to like articulate it, but it's just like someone, your siblings. You can get mad. These days, when I hear people say they are upset with their siblings and they haven't spoken to them in years, I am concerned.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really concerned. Concerned because why are you not speaking to your sibling? That's the only kind of love that is unexplainable, inexplainable, because you are so
arguable.
but
Arguable,
mostly,
Right.
you'd see that even people who don't speak to their siblings, they still have a soft spot for them.
Yes.
Right.
You will see people they've sworn enemies, two siblings, but they still have a soft spot for them. Your sibling, you will tell them you don't like, they cross all your boundaries and
should be the
not
purest
look
of
back.
love.
You see,
The purest.
that's almost the kind of love you have with someone that you have become intimate with.
Yeah.
Because you are not biased over the person.
There's a certain
Exactly.
bond.
Yes,
You
yes.
get to
I
have
feel
with
like
that person.
it cements your relationship with a person, and that's why I don't advise it prematurely.
Right.
Because then your sense of judgment is wiped away from your head. That whether it's not tweaked, it's wiped away. Because tell me
Oh, it's
how.
wiped away completely.
Yes, tell me how. We had a story. We had the conversation we were supposed to have last
Yes.
week. You know, tell me why a person will give to a guy up to 50 million naira. No explanation as to what that money is being used for. No, you guys don't have any shared
I mean,
investment
we've
together.
had students carry their school fees and give
That's
it.
school
to
fees.
someone.
We're talking of 50 million naira in this economy.
No, school fees is a huge sacrifice.
exactly.
as
They
well.
don't
So
know. For a
you can
student, it's a
equate
huge-
that to that. To
I
that
agree
50
that
million
school fees
bucks
is a
as well.
huge sacrifice,
Yeah.
but in this economy, you give somebody 50 million naira that the person cannot account for just because they are in a relationship with you.
Victor said
so-
she knows what she was doing.
She does not know.
See, the point. I will go back to saying that she knows exactly what she was doing.
Okay.
Now the thing is, now you've heard of this popular aphorism. They say love is blind. Do you agree with that?
I'm supposed to be asking you.
No, I'm going
because
to. Do
you
you
seem
agree
to
with
be
that?
at the other end.
It's a conditional statement for me.
It's not even. It's not even a condition. Love is
No,
not
love-
blind. Love doesn't blind you.
You
understand?
Love is not
It-
supposed to be blind.
No, love is not blind. It's not blind.
Okay.
It is. You understand?
It is, okay.
See, it doesn't also wipe away your brain.
Okay.
Okay.
People just decide to keep that thinking part of their brain. People just decide to keep it
I don't
aside.
agree.
It happens. There's a thing called logic, Martha. When you're in love with a person, it doesn't take away your sense of logic. It doesn't take away your sense of reasoning or thinking.
Have you fallen in love before?
Come on now, what are we not saying?
Victor,
I
No,
believe
because
that.
I can't relate to what you're saying.
No, you should be able to relate to. See, I'm not
No,
talking
I
about,
get-
I'm not saying that you don't make sacrifice or compromises.
But okay,
This
well,
thing-
have you ever heard someone say
but
that?
we don't need to
Sacrifice.
no, people have gone extreme. I have also gone an extreme, to make sure that the person I'm with
Tell
is
us about
comfortable.
it.
No, that's I can give you guys off air, But the point I'm trying to say is that everything I did, even in my own little capacity, I did from the place of knowing and consciousness. But my backing was, I love this particular person and I'm willing, to subject myself to that particular condition to make sure this person is comfortable.
So why do you regret it afterwards?
Did I say that I regretted it?
Okay, why do people regret it
Why did you break up?
afterwards? Exactly. Why did you break up?
We'll give gist about breakups.
No.
There are reasons for breaking up, and anyways, but people regret most of these actions, because sometimes now when you leave that relationship, and then you go back to think about
You
some
realize
of the
that
things
you
that you
really did not have.
did. Now you
really did not use your head.
you realize that, man, I went extreme for this person,
Okay.
right? That realization comes in even more. And the truth is sometimes even.
Doesn't that mean that when you were doing that extreme
You
thing,
were not
didn't know.
aware.
thinking, because it's now that you're outside the relationship that you're now remembering that,
Now, if you say you were not thinking, that is a different thing from saying that you didn't know what you were doing. Sometimes we don't think some of these things through to the finish.
The way you're tweaking this thing.
So that's
tweaking.
why,
No,
that's why
that's
I'm
not
saying
tweaking. These are
that you said it. That's why you don't think these things through,
You
and
know?
that's what it does to you. That's the question. Because
No, you're
when you
saying-
are, if you are not in a relationship with Nen, right? And Nen is always coming to meet you to say, Victor, give me 5K. Today, Nen is going to ask you for 5K. Tomorrow, Nen will ask you for 5K. You keep giving Nen that money. And the natural instinct of a man, which is a transaction, right, will say, this girl is using my head. I'm not even dating you. So why are you asking me? Classic example. I was in a ride recently on my way back from work. So when I got close to the market, and I was like, in my head, I'm like, do you know what? I think let me help myself. Let me look for something to make quickly, eat and all that.
Right.
And then the driver stopped, and I'm like, wait for me. When I'm done, you would take me inside the estate, right? So when he stopped, I wasted a few minutes, and then I got back in the car. And then the driver was like, this one, you're not even my wife's first. You are already wasting my...
Wow.
First of all, there was a trigger in my head about that. But I'm like, I'm just saying that to say that he already made an exception. Even without being in a relationship with me. He already knows that there's an exception to what I can do when I'm in a relationship with somebody.
Exactly.
There's no holding back. There's no logic.
No, logic is
Many
there. Sometimes
times there's no logic. There's no logic because your head knows that this person is using you. But you're like, I love her, so let me just do it. You see, so you will abandon logic. You will abandon so many things. And that's why it's very hard to believe when someone says that they like another person and they're still trying to be so logical about everything. It's very incomprehensible when because the natural order of things, when a person says, I love this person, there are so many things that you would not do anymore because of the emotional stance you now have with that person. So it might not necessarily mean that you are not using your brains. It might not necessarily mean that you are illogical. It just means that when you are in a relationship, there are certain things that will not just work anymore. You see, and your brain can be one of them.
Yes.
Yes.
But you might just decide to say you don't want to use your brain on this particular issues.
Well,
why will you regret it? That's the question I
at that
keep
point
asking
in your
you.
life, your brain and your heart just has a very peaceful handshake and say, all right, I hand over
Let's
to
do
you.
this
So
thing.
the heart now takes.
Let's just be silly for this.
Yes.
And then after the relationship, you see people cry. After all I've done for her, after all I've done for him.
So it's most times, not picking up from the cry, most times people get to regret these things. I think earlier we talked about something, when you do these things for the wrong people.
Absolutely.
Right. When someone now takes advantage of you, takes advantage of the sacrifices that you've made for that particular person, the person now calls you love or calls your actions or even calls you a fool, in that particular regards, because when someone is using you, sometimes the person comes up to tell you, well, I didn't ask you to do these things for me. The most annoying comments you will hear after a breakup and all of that. But the truth is, when you make these sacrifices for the person that has chosen you as much as you've chosen the person, you will know that these things are not even they're not enough compared to what you might want to do for this particular individual. That's why you see partners and couples, if they are compatible, we want to be donors. It just to save the life of the other person. I've seen a partner who says, I'm willing to give you one of my kidneys, just to ensure that you live and you are alive. That is a huge, massive sacrifice. And if that is not, if you've not gotten to that particular point where you're willing to give anything and everything for the person that you're with, it becomes very difficult for you to even express that you love that particular person. And these are things, that we will constantly find in relationship. Relationship comes with that particular sacrifice. It comes with you wanting to give your all, to the person that you are with. It comes with you wanting to make all of those sacrifices for the person that you are with, and it's just a natural phenomenon.
All right, this video now is going to prove whether or not, we have a video that we will play shortly, and that video is going to, we will discuss whatever it is that happens there.
Yeah.
Then we can decide whether or not people actually use their brains when they're in love. Before we go there, let's go on a very quick break, and then we get back.
What would you do
Magic has
if your ex
imagination
had a baby with your best friend after y'all broke up, and now he's talking about he want to marry you?
Have you talked to the best friend since?
So the only reason why I talked to her is because her first daughter is my goddaughter. She actually texted me yesterday. But anyway.
When the last time you text him or talked to him?
I talked to him today.
Okay, there we go. All right, so when the last time y'all had sex?
You're my business, Ace. Don't do that.
When the last time y'all had sex?
Probably a couple months ago.
A couple months ago, okay.
The best thing that you can do for the f***ed up people in your life is let them have each other. I think that the best thing that you can do in this situation is save yourself, because you the one that got out without the baby.
Hello.
First and foremost, I just want to apologize to you, right?
Thank you.
Because you're laughing through this season and you're laughing through
All right, there you have it. We had the case study, and she was dating someone. The person went on to have a baby with her best friend, dating, cheating, betraying, and what have you. And then after that, she's still sleeping with the same guy. And after that, she's still thinking about getting back together with that guy.
Yeah.
So give me a classic example of how to use your brain when you're in love. Over to you. I'll just pass that over to you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it would have been safer to start with the lady, because
No.
this is coming from the
You
girl's
have
perspective.
It was you who said
You can.
that you can still
You can
use
still
your brain.
think.
The
Definitely.
first question, is this lady using her brain?
This girl, I'm not sure what she's doing right now. I understand.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that she doesn't know what she's doing, right? Clear example: she was in a relationship with a guy. I think they broke up first, and then the guy got together with her best
No,
friend.
that was the reason they broke up,
That was
because
the
she
reason they
found
broke
out
up.
that
Okay, that the guy was getting together with her best friend, right? Now the best friend is pregnant, and she is considering marrying this guy
she is still
With the guy.
with a guy.
intimate with the guy.
Yeah,
And the guy is asking her to marry him.
You get-
And let me tell you, if that lady is not considering it, she won't be here.
No, I think that's why she asked the question anyways. She's considering, getting married to the guy as it is. Now your question again is what? If she's using her brain right now in this particular matter, I would tell you for a fact that she's not thinking this thing through. And there are various reasons to all of this. Many times people don't feel enough of themselves. People think that what they have is what they deserve, right? And so if she thinks that this is what she deserves, then she'll have to continue being with this particular individual. But has she thought about it to an extent? The truth is, yes, she has thought about it to an extent, but I do not think that she has thought it through to the very end. But I also still think that maybe she feels that the man is good enough for her, whichever way. Maybe she feels that if she doesn't end up with this man, she might not be able to end up with another person. Various reasons. Maybe she has given this man many years of her life or whatever it is. But continuing to be with this particular man just shows you that currently she's not using her logic to think about the whole situation. But
Which contradicts what you said earlier.
it doesn't contradict it. Does she know what she's doing? Yes, she does know what she's doing, but she's not being logical about her thought or her thinking in carrying through.
You're contradicting
How
yourself.
is that contradicting?
Because you say that people can be logical in relationships.
logic?
And
What
now you
is
have said she has
knowing
said
and
she's not
thinking?
being logical in this matter.
Yes, so she's not being completely logical in this particular matter, but she knows exactly that this is what I'm doing. She knows it.
So that means you agree that people tend to be illogical.
Yes, sometimes when they're in a relationship, but doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Let's get over to you. Now, what's your assessment of this situation, and what would you say to such a person?
Okay, so I disagree with Victor based on I don't think she's actually thinking about whatever it is she's doing right now, right? And then I would outrightly say that I don't think she loves herself enough.
Go on.
I don't think she loves herself enough to, know what's best for her. The fact that she's in the life, like the two people in question are very much active in her life. And the problem with this kind of people, they keep making excuses for people.
Yeah.
You could see her still trying to, I don't even know why she was laughing about it anyway. That's already like an
That could be a coping mechanism,
That's
actually.
You
Some
think
people,
so?
yes. Some people mask up their pain like that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's either that or it's either she doesn't particularly take her life seriously. There are people like that. They don't take anything serious. So even down to this, as serious as this is, they might not even take it seriously. And at some point, any other thing anybody might be saying might just sound like a joke to her and all. Like I said from the beginning, I feel she doesn't love herself. She doesn't love herself enough to know that she doesn't deserve or is supposed to be in that triangle, because now it's a triangle. Me, the boyfriend in quote, my best friend who is now pregnant for, I don't know if I would say for us, because you're still together, and then you're coming to say, oh, you're still together because a child is your goddaughter or something and all. Why are you even in that triangle in the first place? Why? Get out of that. Why are you even with the guy is a dangerous, I mean, you're sleeping with the girl and her best friend, and you went ahead to get her pregnant and all of that, and you're reconsidering getting married to him. Considering actually, because it looks like he just asked her hand in marriage. So I don't know, I feel I'm seeing more of a mental problem and then it could be trauma based. I mean, most of these people, you could also do like a backtrack to the kind of homes and families and environment they grew up in, because again, there are some people that grew up in such kind of environment and it's like a norm. We sleep with each other's person, I sleep with your person, you sleep with my person, and we are good. So if you're coming out from that kind of environment, you won't particularly see anything wrong with it.
Well, there's a point you grow to, you know that this doesn't really work.
That's what I'm saying,
so
which now boils down to self-love.
So I think that the lady is very famous for making wrong decisions. First of all, your decision of a friend is terrible.
I agree.
Secondly, your decision of for a partner is terrible. Because how have you found yourself in this kind of triangle? What kind of friend does not know to maintain boundaries? What kind, and you would know if your friend is like this because you do it to somebody else. And you already, it takes just a little bit of time before it gets to you. So you will know the kind of friend. Everyone knows what their friends are capable of doing, except that friend is not a close friend of yours. And even if the friend is not a close friend of yours, if you are an observant person, you would know what people's tendencies are. And it is more about what they didn't say and less about what they said. I don't know how to explain that. But people, you understand people more with their actions than with their words. Because your actions don't lie. You can't control it sometimes because that's who you are. So you will know a person from what they didn't even say. Now, this lady enjoys, you could hear from that conversation, she enjoys this triangle that she's in. Obviously. Because let me tell you, and I say this to you all the time, I'm sure you will be tired of hearing it. If you betray me or you disrespect me once, you don't get a second chance to do it. This is betrayal. This is disrespect as well. You don't, if you respect me, you would not even come back to me asking me to marry you because you know you have flopped too much to demand that position in my life again. So you don't even respect me. And you don't think I am using my brains correctly. Because if you think I'm using my brains correctly, the audacity to come back and ask me out again to marry you this time, that time is my mother you will probably follow, because you're dating me, you followed my friend, and now you want to get married.
That's even where the first disrespect
exactly
came from. Going out
you're
with
talking
my best friend.
Exactly. So my best friend is not a good friend. If even if I'm the one that, even if I'm the surrogate for that girl, I'll walk away from you. And I think people don't even know when to walk away from relationships, because they like to overcompensate. They like to this over-pleasing nature of some people puts them in trouble a lot. Oh, she's my goddaughter, so no matter what the mother does to me, I cannot separate the mother from the child. They are one. If the child was grown, you know, and I would have probably said the child is grown, don't let us rub off the sin of the mother on the child. But this is still a child, which means that there is every tendency that the mother will pass who she is onto the child. So I don't get to have a say in that. What I see here is someone not knowing when to walk away. It's someone not knowing when they are being disrespected.
Someone not wanting to walk away.
It's someone not valuing themselves at all. Because if you value yourself, there's certain questions you will ask yourself when you find yourself in certain positions. Love, this is beyond love now. This is now actually someone being actually traumatized or actually being crazy. Because I'm not even supposed to hear you looking for an advice whether to go back to the guy.
That's what I even wanted to say. If
not.
You love yourself, you won't even be asking
exactly
someone else because you yourself, you would know that you don't deserve or you shouldn't be there.
Exactly. And you see, when I say I don't know how long they've been in a relationship for, but when people have become intimate with people, they feel entitled to so many things about that person.
Right.
And that's why it is hard for them to walk away. It is always, if you find a person who has shared such intimate, beautiful moments with a person and the person walks away, you should give them kudos. They remain there. Difficult. It becomes hard to walk away. True. It's the same thing with people that have been abused. It is hard to walk away. You have shared such moments with a person. So your mind now is not able to make certain decisions as it should anymore, because you now have a bias towards that person because of the moments that you've shared with them.
And that actually, I think, emphasizes a point I've always had in mind. Sex abuse is addictive. I mean, sex and also abuse, that they are very addictive. And many times people do not know that they are addicted.
Even good things can be addictive.
Good things can be, you know. People do not know that there's an addiction there. And the truth is, you know, breaking out of addiction is very difficult most times. And it's even more difficult when they do not recognize that there's an addiction here at this point. And that might also be the problem as it is. And that was why I said, you know, that she thought that this is what she deserves. And many times you can never get more than what you think you deserve.
Exactly.
You know, and that's where the problem is, you know. And so people need to actually get to realize and understand that being in a relationship with a person does not kill you as an individual.
You are a person on your own.
You know, that should not make you lose your personality as a person. And that's why I always love to say that while you're in a relationship with a person, you need to understand that love sees. So you should be able to learn to, you know, take away emotions sometimes and see these things the way they are. Because sometimes people don't want to take away the emotions and look at the things the way they are. You know, so the failure to looking at the things the way they are is one of the things that makes people either remain in toxic relationships or continually, you know, make wrong decisions when it comes to being with a particular person.
And Victor, you know, these days, something that you'd see about a lot of young people is we now date for the fun of it. We don't actually have a destination in mind.
And that's the craziest part.
And people will say, just enjoy your life. You're being too serious. Why? Just enjoy your life. Just be in that relationship. Why do you need to overthink it?
And that's a wrong advice.
It is better for you to overthink it because if you're looking at spending the rest of your life with somebody, right? When you are getting in a relationship with that person, you're looking for reasons why you should remain there or why you should walk away.
Of course.
You see, so if you don't have an end goal in mind, if you don't have where do I see this? Is this just because, and that's why I prefer people who get into a relationship and they define it from the start and say, I don't want to get married. I just want to have a good time.
Right.
You know, I will always respect those people because then I know they know what they're doing.
Yeah, both choices.
Exactly. Now I know that they know what they're doing because they're not going, no hard feelings. They know what they're there for and they remain there for that purpose. But you just carelessly get into a relationship saying you want to have a good time, you will get hurt. You would be demanding from somebody what they didn't promise to give to you. And you see, life will always meet you at the level of your audacity. This lady hasn't demanded anything from life. She's not audacious enough to walk away from a relationship that has traumatized her and that has abused her. So she doesn't even know if she's been traumatized or she's been abused. This is it. Life will give you what you accept to receive. And if you want more, you will demand for more. And life will definitely give you what you demand for and work towards.
And just add to the earlier point you made, sorry, before you jump in, where you talked about people being in a relationship, deciding what they want to be in a particular relationship. Now you get, there's an age you get to as a person, and you will know that, come on, you cannot be dating for fun. You
think so?
No, I mean, there's an age you get to, or there's a realization you will have.
I played a video for you this morning.
Yeah.
A lady who is in a relationship, and at that age, she's still saying, I asked you for money for ceiling fan.
Yeah.
You cannot give me money for ceiling fan. What are you doing? I will work.
But yeah,
people don't still know.
However, I think
you didn't see the video.
I think in the larger proportion, there's an age you get to, and then you realize that
you are supposed to realize that. That's what.
Okay, let's put it that way to be more safe. You're supposed to know that you can't be dating for fun. You can't be jumping into a relationship because that's what society demands or desires of you. Every relationship as an adult right now has got to be properly defined from the beginning. Now, you get to this relationship with this particular individual, boy or girl, and in your head you're saying, okay, I see a potential. I see that I could end up with this person for the rest of my life. And that's the reason you even want to give that person a chance in your life. I mean, that's to a certain age. But if you don't see that person like that, and then you want to put a commitment, you're just trying to force something that might never work. You are not Moses that has been asked to strike the rock.
But there's a downside to this. Because now, if a lady who is of age, in quotes, and
pressure
wants to get married,
societal pressure,
and then you now finally have a man here that is, telling you, hey, this is for marriage. And mind you, I understand the part of, defining it from the beginning, but we also had people who defined it from the beginning and go 15 years still waiting for.
It's not because they defined it, they said 15 years.
One
there should be a timeline.
There should be a timeline, no?
Because
what do you mean 15 years?
Somebody cannot promise to marry you
15 years.
As a man, right?
Exactly.
I come and put a ring on a lady's finger and I keep it for 15 years. You said 15 years.
Exactly.
You should ask me from the beginning.
It's just like an employer will interview you and say that you are on waiting list for 5 years. You are waiting. We wait for the employer for 5 years.
You should ask the guy, now that you've proposed and engaged me, right? When are we getting married?
I feel like this is like another conversation for another day.
You should talk about it.
We also have women who would not want to, let me know.
Why?
Desperate.
I'm desperate.
Someone proposed to you.
About the matters of my life, I am desperate.
Yes, now.
If that means you call me desperate, my time is precious to me, and I'm asking you questions that will not waste me. Let's not waste each other's time.
But Victor, I don't know why you're acting surprised, because you and I know that your gender in quotes, they don't like to hear those kind of questions.
No,
then anybody that is triggered,
I can also say for sure that a serious man that is well focused would definitely have an answer to that.
Then anybody that is triggered, anybody that is triggered by the question of where is this going?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What's the timeline for this? That person is already a red flag.
It's a red flag, truly.
It's a red flag because
both man and woman.
Exactly.
You should be able to.
I value my time so much that when you come and say, "Oh, this is what I want to do," I'm like, I don't have time for games, so. If it is game you want to play, there's Central Park somewhere. It's okay to define it because, you end up wasting your time. And the person can now come back to say, I blame you because we didn't talk about it. And then you have no defense whatsoever. But when you spoke about it and the person did you dirty, the person did you dirty. But but for this lady here, what are your final thoughts before we go? Time is fast.
Okay, all right. So, I initially said probably she had like a messy background. probably the family she came from, you know, or the environment she found herself in. But one of the things that help people, you know, come out of such is the kind of circle you have around you. We spoke about her friend.
Yeah.
This is just one out of the so many other. I mean, we're women. Women tend to have a lot of friends. So this, for me, is like an experiment. You could know that, okay, her circle of friends could be this kind of ladies. So when you have this kind of friends around you, you don't expect to see yourself the way you are supposed to see yourself. You don't expect to realize that you shouldn't be in such a triangle. So I feel like, I mean, we've already hit on other things. That's why I'm focusing on this part. Because, I mean, if you have such kind of friend, you don't expect to think the way you should. So being particular and being careful as to the kind of people you put around you plays a very big role in what you end up accepting into your life, or even helps you putting out the kind of boundaries you have, or even if you even have at all, because I mean, we still have people who don't tend to have boundaries, but your friends, the people you have around you, just plays a big role in all of that, and helps you see what you can't see, because you know, we spoke about, and that reminds me, you know, we spoke about this love blind and all of that. I don't know about, well, Victor has been denied, but I have had my own fair share of being in love, and basically I'm like, I see.
We'll talk about
like,
this.
Everywhere blow for you.
We'll talk about this.
Why I'm bringing that is because I have friends who sat me down like, come, this guy.
So you're recommending that she changes her circle of friends?
Yes, have a good circle of friends.
Well, let's hear you. What do you recommend?
I just really think that we get to remember that when we're in love, we're still humans. So please don't keep your brains aside. Don't fry your brain because you're in a relationship with a person. Still get to understand that you can think as a person, and please, you have to be able to analyze certain situations just to ensure that you're not being used, you know, and dumped eventually.
All right, used and dumped, that's a very strong word. But anyways, to the lady, love yourself first.
Yeah.
If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. If you don't value yourself, you can't value anybody else. That's just basic principle that I think that everyone should know. And there are some people that should stay away from relationships until they're able to figure out what they need to do with their lives before they get into relationships. Because if you trace back most of the broken relationships you experience in homes and in families, you'd see that it's people who haven't loved themselves effectively trying to love somebody else. And it don't work that way. You know, you just have to love yourself first before you love anybody else. But yeah, that's it. This girl should be banned from relationships for a while to get her head together.
5 to 10 years.
Exactly.
Let's give her the love ban.
Get her head together, and then when she gets into the dating space again, she's more confident about what she wants, and she's aware of herself and the values that she should uphold. That brings us to the end of the conversation for today. It's been an amazing time having this conversation, talking about people and the choices that they make, because their experiences tend to be a reflection of what happens in the larger society as well. There are people who still experience this, and you can catch up with all of our episodes of the Girls Hangout every Wednesday on Rapid TV. It's on our YouTube page. We upload it every single week, and every other program at Official Rapid TV. Remember, if you enjoyed this program or you love your friends anywhere in the world to catch up, we have a website at www.rbnradiotv.com that allows them to do that. Our website or our social media is also very active. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, and TikTok. It is at Rapid TV. Thank you so much for being here with us. My name again is Martha Alu.
And my name is Victor. Okay.
We also had
And
Nenwanda.
Mazaka.
And
We'll
we will see you tomorrow.